Hello guys. So finally this day is come. After listening to all my decks, multiple songs, multiple recordings, I finally decided to recap my Sony TC-K555ESL. So the reason for that, I can hear that my Sony K7 is just perfect now after I replaced its capacitors with Nichicon Muse, and Sony TC-K555 actually it's pretty close from schematic perspective from the heads to the Sony TC-K7, and I'd like to check if I can make it sound the same ideal as Sony TC-K7. So from everything I've heard, K7 now is the best recorder considering reproduction quality. It's most precise on all range, on different music styles. It has very good dynamics on drums and bass and so on. Even looking into my Nakamichis, I can say that I like how Nakamichi do sound, but they're not so precise as Sony. They're very good, but mostly their beautiful sound comes from overall perspective. So when you hear more bass and more highs, and specifically looking into the frequency response, all Nakamichis has a higher response from the playback amplifier. So as a result, we do see that they sound much better on all the tapes recorded on other decks. So for example, I measure it like Sony, GVC, like Victor, Akai, they kind of 1-2 decibel lower on 15 kilohertz comparing to the Nakamichi decks. I don't talking about high frequencies, but 15 kilohertz is probably the frequency which is most reasonable to discuss. Else, I was able to get almost the same frequency response from K7 when I removed 8 capacitors. It was so precise that for me it even gets boring. So I returned these 8 capacitors back, and I can say that I have a more pleasant to listen sound now, even if it did cost me 0.15% from THD side, so distortion is a little bit more. And from the frequency response comparing to Nakamichi, it gets back really. So with all capacitors in place, we have a frequency response which is the same as 555, same as Victor, same as Akai, and so on. So this 1-2 decibel difference, I don't know, maybe don't matter much, but when you're listening, there is a little bit difference. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be pulling playback and record amplifier boards out of the deck. So I see that I need to remove also the bottom cover, and as you may see, this deck is just beautiful. It has almost new condition. Okay, let's remove the holding screws. As you see, this cover has less screws than on K7. K7 has much more screws. And I believe you would be able to remove it, not fully unscrewing any of the screws. On K7, I believe I need to unscrew 3 and on Akai 2 screws to release the cover. Okay. Here, one. So it's a minimum. I wish you were holding it. Okay. Done. Okay. Something else. Here, one more. Let me see. I believe it was, this one. So 2 screws are holding it fully. Okay. Removed. Okay. Let me pull it aside. So you see, this board's different. So it has regular parts, and Sony K7 has lots of SMD parts, which are single side soldering parts. Let's start from removal of the playback amplifier. So let me see. So this is the playback head. Okay. Connector from the record board. Basically, the layout is very similar to what we have in Sony TC-K5 and 7. So you see power connectors, no power connector. Would even say that it has less connectors than K7. Okay, removed. And now screws. But it has 6 screws versus 4 in the K7. What I like with this deck, so as you see, they have a copper plating which doesn't degrade over time. And if you will go with Sony 333, you may see lots of rust. That's what I don't like to see in my decks. At this moment, you may start betting like if I would be able to get the same sound from this deck as from the TC-K7. My guess, looking into the schematics, that it should be very close. The actual difference in playback amplifier is that in K5, K7, we have a negative reverse connection with IS, like amplifier integrated. And in this deck we have, I believe, a transistor and capacitor. That's the difference. Remember this 220 microfarad capacitor, you see, removed. That we will be replacing, and it sits somewhere here. Let me use my other glasses. So these two guys, 22 microfarad, 100 microfarad. This again 22. 100 microfarad. So I'm not sure if I remember properly. I would need to check with schematics. Those are 22s, 4.7, 1 microfarads. Okay, those are connected to Dolby chip. These guys are power guys. Why 100 microfarad by 63 volts? Okay, still power. Okay, I will check with schematics for this board, and let me remove the other one, and then we will switch for recapping part. So for overboards we have red connector, white connector, another white. No, those not connectors, so we have to remove these holders, both of them. Okay, let me see. So we just also record head, rice head here. This can go here. Another. Let me see. Okay, power lines. We have to remove these power connectors. Okay, a bit more complex than in K7. But we still should be good. Okay. I should not remove it from here. One more connector here. So we have just this cable going through the back side. Let me see if we need to remove the back cover. I believe so. So that would be the difference. With K7, I was not need to remove the back cover. So it will be like 8 more screws to remove the power wire from the record board. And I will remove the connectors as well. You may ask me why I'm fully removing the boards in this deck when I didn't do this with Nakamichi, because in this deck I can do that, and it's much easier to work when boards are separated and I don't have to do acrobatic exercise with the body. So that's the only reason. In Nakamichi you cannot pull out the board so simply, at least on the older models. The R2 is much better in this case, but still I believe I didn't pull it up completely. Just make it more relaxed to have access. So speaking about 555 itself, I was comparing schematic starting from Sony 777, released in 1982. And to tell the truth, there was no any significant change since then. So Sony started to use FET transistors or FET IS to increase like impedance of the input, which reduces the need. Let me see. Which reduces the need in additional capacitors on the input, or like in the reduced size. So those were like reduced and did not affect significantly the sound pass. Okay, come here. So it looks like white one will remain there. And the only one we need is the black one. Okay, last screws to get the board out. Another 8 screws. If you're watching my videos and like to make me a present, I would appreciate if you will send me like a mechanized screwdriver on battery, so now because it's getting more and more time consuming to remove all screws. Okay. Two more to go. I hope that's it. Let me see. Okay. should pull it out. One more connector here. One more time. Okay. Go back. Let me remove it. And one more time here. Whew. And one more connector. Come on. I hope that's everything. Yeah, you see, separated. Great, so that would be it for this part. You have seen how to remove the boards if you would like to repeat this exercise. And next part I will be like recapping my boards, and then we will assemble, tune everything up, and do measurements. So guys, thanks for your time. See you in the next part. Bye bye.